All right, when Brian's done reading his phone, we can get started.
I'm ready.
All right, Tyson, you got Audacity up?
I
Do
do.
you have the audacity?
Hello, my friends.
Big Horde.
Thank you
Cool.
for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 24 of 2025. I'm Chris Louie, and a happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Biological, step, foster, single, and adoptive. With me, I have the Cloud God who never misses a weekend at the gym.
Wasn't Father's Day last weekend? Why are we doing? Shouldn't we said this on the previous episode?
We should have. I'm making up for it.
Oh,
This week.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Shout out to all the dads that left and never came back home. Nobody knows. Yeah. Nobody knows what you were thinking, but your kids hate you. No. Actually, big shout out to our youngest listener, Austin. Little bro got clipped the other day on actually Father's Day, and he has 5 stitches to prove it. So we're hoping that he heals up fine, and if it is a scar, hopefully it's super cool, and you can say that a ninja came out of nowhere, started slashing tires. You saved humankind, and thank you for all your lies that you'll be telling here in the future.
I think you can define what clipped means here in this context,
I was
Brian.
curious as well, yeah.
So I wanted, what does that mean? What does clipped
Yeah,
mean?
clipped.
Yeah.
Like you clip a car, like you got hit by a car, you got clipped.
Kinda. Like, I don't want to embarrass the child, but since there's no PII here, I think dad hit the thing for the tailgate to come back down, and he ran around and didn't see that, and the corner went, got him right above the eye.
Wow.
So,
Ouch.
So he clipped the car, but the car won, I think is what happened here.
Yeah, I guess that would happen. Yeah, hydraulic lift gate versus a forehead.
That actually happened once. It wasn't hydraulic. Like, I had an old van, and it had literally, like, you had to hold the thing up, whatever, and wasn't paying attention. I walked right into it, and just kept loading the groceries, and I got into the car, passenger seat, because I was passenger princess that day. And then my wife looked at me, and I just had blood gushing all the way down my face. She's like, "What the hell?" And she just took a handful of napkins and threw it at me.
Don't
But
get blood on my car.
I didn't need stitches, though, so that's why Austin's way cooler than me.
All right. Good luck to little man in his recovery.
Yes.
And we do not have Glenn Medina this week, but we hope he'll be back next week.
I heard he's recovering from the GCP outage.
He's on the apology tour.
Yeah. Just kidding. We love you. We love you, Glenn.
Our guest this week is the returning Tyson Kindler, who we are both confirmed to be going to Black Hat this year. So come and find us in Vegas in August. Welcome back, Tyson.
Thank you much, yeah. Good to be back, and looking forward to getting out and doing some Vegas Black Hat DEF CON stuff.
This is poor OPSEC. We're not supposed to say we're in Vegas until after the fact, Glenn or Chris.
Everyone knows we're going to be there. We go every year.
Very, very predictable. Yeah. Are we doing a live from Chris's hotel room where he sets it at 85 degrees and we sweat?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh,
this
God.
time it's going to be set to 85.
Can you just set it to whatever the lowest is, and then when we get in there, we just turn it off and then record right away and not die? Is that too much to ask?
I can try, but those Vegas hotel rooms, like you have to be moving or you have to have your room key in it or something now.
Just bring a
Otherwise, there's
Weeble
no
Wobble.
AC.
Yeah.
It's true. Get one of those wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man guys, and then that'll keep the AC on all day.
It's saying Chris everything to say, how about a prostitute? I'll just have one of those in there.
I was thinking model train with like a Home Alone cutout style,
That
something
works
to drive
too.
around and make it look like someone. But
Like-
prostitute, I guess, also works.
Isn't that funny how things change? Like when we were younger, we wanted model trains. When we got older, then all we wanted was women. Now that we're getting older, the model train sounds
Sounds
pretty
pretty
cool,
awesome.
right? I just want a room full of
Yeah.
trains.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, come full circle.
I think it's because it's like if you made it like really big, because I had a friend that had one, and it was like multiple. Well, his dad had one, and then like multiple levels and stuff. It's like it's a reality in which you control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're in charge of everything. Be like, oh, what's that? My grandson's bringing his boyfriend over. Oh, it's time to put another little steeple next to the train station. It's just little things that you can control.
There you go.
You be the mayor of Train Town.
Mayor Choo Choo. Yeah.
Come on, we have decades of information carrier experience, and not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to talk about free ROS, blood donations, for our third topic, a major cloud outage you likely felt, and close with T-Woo.
T-Woo.
T-Moo. We're talking about the Victor DeLuca.
The T-Moo of
Louis.
Yeah. For our first topic, newly pardoned Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht just received a $31 million donation, and a forensic analysis of the money leads back to another defunct darknet marketplace, Alphabay. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, Ross Ulbricht was the founder and leader of the darknet marketplace Silk Road, where he ran an eBay of narcotics, weapons, hacking tools, murder for hire, and all types of illicit goods.
He did not do that. He merely hosted a site. He was not sponsoring that stuff.
That's what I said. I said he ran the marketplace.
He ran a marketplace, period. What was on there had nothing to do with him.
Sure. It's like the Section 270 defense there, Brian.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if someone does like a drug deal over the phone, you don't hold AT&T liable for it.
Yep. Yeah. Good old Section 230. Yep. Immunity.
Community property. What? Are we talking about monopoly?
So, like I said, he never sold drugs, but he facilitated the sale of $2 million a day worth of illegal goods. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences and served 11 years and 3 months in jail before being pardoned on Donald Trump's second day in office of his second term. Authorities do not know if the money came from an admirer or if Ross sent those bitcoins to a trusted friend to hodl them while he was in prison. But in any case, he can probably retire on some tropical island now with that donation he just got. What do you think happened for him to end up with $31 million in Bitcoin from a rival darknet marketplace?
I think he's walking a very thin line here. You've got a jail-free card once. I don't know that I would do it again.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
I risk that. I know, it's like, he got this donation, like, it's a donation, is it taxable? Does he go back to jail on tax evasion? Like, should he pay his taxes? Does he flee the country?
Is there something around 31 million that there's a loophole? Like if it was 32 million, like he's cooked, he goes right back. No?
No.
No.
I think it was just a rounding error is my bet. Just a, hey, here you go.
I think it was an exact number. I think it was like 300 Bitcoin. I think it was a nice round number, and then when you convert it to dollars, it turned into 31 million.
So did he
So
hold,
it's either
or did he sell
30,
it?
Yeah, it's like 35 million or 17 million, depending on the minute.
The day.
Here.
Yeah.
I don't know if he sold it. I don't know if he liquidated it or not. It just ended up in his free Ross donation wallet.
Bitcoin is like the new version of like buying a computer. It's up to date now. Not anymore. It's old. Now it's up to date. Yeah. Not anymore. Yeah. So
and also,
I'm sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying also if he sent it off to someone for safe holding and then he wanted it sent back to him, like why would he use the official donation wallet? Why wouldn't he use like some kind of a different wallet?
Obfuscated,
like one that
or
the authorities don't know about.
So did he like announce it? Like, hey, someone sent me this stuff and I had nothing to do with it, and what can I do with it?
I think there's organizations that are like monitoring those well-known Bitcoin wallets, and just happen to see the traffic.
That he just happened to receive $31 million from this rival darknet marketplace.
I love that Bitcoin's anonymous until it's not.
Yeah, it's not as anonymous as you think. It's not like Monero or one of those other ones.
Did he just like, it's going to crack open the old Bitcoin wallet and see getting a whole brand new one for $129? Like, what the hell is he thinking? And how did they find this Bitcoin wallet? That's another question.
Well, there's a well-known address that's published online when when Ross Ulbricht was in prison, there was this Free Ross movement, and they were taking donations to fight his it was part of like his legal defense fund and other things. So it went to that one, the official Free Ross Bitcoin wallet. That's how this blockchain forensic firm knew which wallet to look at.
It'd be really fun if he doesn't have control of that wallet, and it's just some random stranger who started the site and isn't giving him the money.
Now $31 million richer.
Yeah. Be a hell of a troll.
Or maybe it's
I don't know what to think about that.
Once locked back up.
It's the ultimate hodl. 11 years of hodling.
Whatever. How long have you been hodling, loser?
So that would have been 2014. So the price of Bitcoin in 2014 was probably around $100, I would say. So this 300 Bitcoin was worth like $3,000 at the time, and he was forced to hodl while he was in jail. Now he's got $31 million.
Good for
Although
him.
he didn't know that he'd ever get out. He got 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. So the only hope he had of getting out was a commutation or a pardon.
Just a good Samaritan out there. That's all. So you guys
Run
think
a website.
31 million was worth it? 11 years of your life?
Yeah.
As long as he can keep it. Yeah, I don't know.
2.8 million and change per year. That's more than I make for sure.
I mean, pretty dope. Like, think about it. He had a house to stay in, albeit a really small house. Free food, free exercise. Yeah.
Free education.
Community showers. Like, all right. The sex was rough, though. Let's be real. Like, that was, ouch.
Some people pay extra for each of those.
Okay. A lot of this is being edited out today.
I don't know. Maybe, should we make this a mature audience version of the podcast?
Oh, that'd be a first.
Yeah. Well, 31 million, though. That's pretty good. And I guess if you knew you were going to get pardoned in 11 years, maybe it would have been worth it. But other than that, whoever was holding this money also could send it to his family, too. But I'm sure he values
2
his
life
freedom
sentences?
more.
You didn't think you were going to get...
No,
never.
You're never getting out.
Yeah. Well, they thought they might win on appeal because there was... I can't remember the name of the document. There's a specific documentary I watched about it, and Ross Ulbricht's family put forth a pretty convincing argument that he was either set up or that they got the wrong guy. And I'm like, yeah, they didn't really... I'm pretty sure they did not get the wrong guy, but like the whole murder for hire thing was a little sus, a little suspicious, and the authorities said they got him dead to rights, and Ross is like, no, that wasn't me. And so there's
Shaggy defense.
I think that's part of why they had this Free Ross movement of collecting money, is like they wanted to try to prove that he was innocent. So I think that's actually what did him in. The 2 life sentences was for the murder for hire, not necessarily the whole narcotics marketplace thing. But he's free now and probably off to some tropical island somewhere. That's what I do.
I would be, yeah.
31 million free and clear.
What if he's like weird? He's like, desert island? No, thank you. Cabin in the mountains? No, thanks. I'm going to the hood. Buy me a little condo up in Compton. Give me some chicken and waffles.
A nice little place in Detroit. I mean, they've kind of turned Detroit around. That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I would imagine... I've been to Detroit. I'm close enough to it. But yeah. But I imagine he wasn't broke before, right? He had money, and he was doing speaking engagements like the Bitcoin conference last month.
Yeah.
So I would imagine he was still going to do fine. This just maybe helps if he's able to keep it. Yeah.
Do you guys remember Notch, the guy that created Mojang? He created Minecraft and then sold off to Microsoft. He's literally a billionaire now, and I think the joke about him was something like he's super rich, he's a billionaire, but he doesn't like to have fun. Like, he's just a really boring guy. And I forgot if he complains about Twitter how boring his life is or something, but I was thinking, if you have $1 billion, I'm sure you could hire someone to like make your life interesting and plan fun things for you.
Yeah, come up with some way to have fun.
I know, a bored billionaire.
31 million takes the edge off, that's for sure.
You would hope.
Yeah.
But after taxes, man, I mean,
True. I think you can live life pretty Nice. What would be the first thing you guys would buy? Got, let's say, 31 million after taxes. What's your first go-to?
Bitcoin. Buy more Bitcoin.
All right, Chris. Quit being you. Quit being you for a second.
I would get a small airplane.
Like a Cessna?
Okay. Yeah, like a little Cessna, Piper, something like that.
Do you have your pilot's license, or would that also be what you would
That would also have to come with it, yeah.
Like, we know people with planes, and I think they say, you know, it's very similar to the plane and the boat thing. The two best days are the day you buy it, the day you sell it. So I don't know if you have a...
No, they're gigantic holes in the ground.
Plan for that,
but
but it'd probably be fun, right?
What about you, Chris? What would you buy? What does Chris not have the money for? Is the real question.
I'd buy SPY. I'd live off the dividends for the rest of my life. Never have to work.
Okay, you're living off SPY, and you get the dividend check.
Skin.
And then what are you going to buy with your dividend money? Then, jerk.
A modest house, a modest car, modest eating arrangements, private chef, maybe. There you go. I'd splurge on a private chef.
There you go. You wouldn't get LASIK, so you can walk around being that four-eyed freak that you are.
See, LASIK, I could technically afford LASIK. The reason I never got it was because my optometrist says I've hit the age at which I'm going to need reading glasses soon. And they said if I get LASIK, I can see far, but it's a guarantee that I will have to use reading glasses for the next couple of years.
Yeah, you need glasses anyway.
Exactly. So he said if you don't get LASIK, you'll still have to wear glasses to see afar, but you'll be able to, like, you know, when you're in bed, read your phone at night. You'll get that for at least another 10 years or so before you need readers.
I sent Chris a screenshot to the group chat of something. He's like, oh, he's got the old man text. I'm like, it's only so far away from you, brother. It's coming. It is coming.
Nice.
That is true.
Brian, what would you buy with 30 mil?
Probably an air fryer. I've always wanted one of those.
No, yeah, there's just an awkward silence now because Tyson and I are like computing. I said, you know, our stock's at like a 52-week high. I think you can trade like one share for a really, really nice air fryer.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But
it's like airplane. Yeah, maybe more than a share of stock, but air fryer.
Chris on Sunday night, type or going to Gronk, create an image of Brian Deach using an air fryer of a ribeye steak. And send it up there. I already know it's coming. It just sets you up for great content.
Yeah, you do. I think I'd probably want like experiences. Like I've never jumped out of a plane. I want to do that. And again, I have the means to do that now, but
yeah,
you know,
that's a good time.
Never got around to it. Do that.
I would.
I want to hike up Mount Kilimanjaro at some point. Mount Fuji. Okay. Maybe Everest. See, Everest was a thing that I've always wanted to do, but I've always been wary of that because, like, many people hike up Mount Kilimanjaro. Very few of them have died, but I would say percentage-wise, the people that try to hike up Everest, good number of them die. I don't.
Chris is a scary
not to die on the side of a mountain.
Not a good enough number. But yeah.
Not a good enough number, yeah. And if you die up there, they keep your body up there. They never bring you back.
This is what I would do. All right. I know it's not one thing, but I'll boil it into one simple thing. I would buy an arsenal. I would quit my job, create a YouTube channel of me just shooting random guns into things to see if they'll put a hole through it. There's a couple guys on YouTube that do it. It looks like so much fun.
You got to reinvent Demolition Ranch then. The guy's selling the ranch right now. You should buy it.
There you go.
The Demolition Ranch guy's getting out of the YouTube business, so yeah, you should definitely buy it or put in an offer at least.
A ranch would be fun.
I think so.
Yeah. Chris, you should put a Bitcoin donation wallet up. You know, free Brian from his work life, and let him create an arsenal on a ranch.
You get $31 million in donations.
Yeah.
Huh. I never saw Demolition Ranch. 11.8 million followers. Jeez. All right. Yeah. Going off.
Yeah. It's a good channel. You're catching him at the tail end, though, because he's quitting YouTube now.
or I buy the air fryer, and then I create a channel called Will It Fry instead of Will It Blend. And then I'll throw random stuff into the air fryer and see if it will fry or not.
Put the
Remember
new
they did the
in air
iPhone?
fryer. Yeah.
You get
I remember
12
when they put
million
it in the
followers on
blender.
that one.
It turned into like black dust, basically, because I think the battery exploded or something in there.
Yeah.
Do not
I
puncture
see.
lithium-ion batteries. Bad idea.
Don't do that.
You're not my dad. I'll do whatever I want. I'll do it in my house if I
Fair.
want.
For our second topic, the UK National Health Service is desperately calling for blood donations after a pathology lab they use was hit by a ransomware attack. Specifically, they need type O blood as it is the universal donor. After the attack, and even in the months after, getting blood typing information took so long, so hospitals and clinics defaulted to just giving patients the safe O-type blood instead of trying to match the correct blood type, which has dangerously depleted their stockpile of type O blood. The Keylin ransomware group has taken responsibility for the disruptive attack, and they published medical information on over 900,000 donors, including cancer and sexually transmitted disease status of the donors. So clearly they did not pay the ransom, and the ransomware group leaked all this data. So they got hit by a double whammy there.
Yeah, I don't know if
That's rough.
imagine your credit card numbers have been leaked, your social security number has been leaked, whatever. But then like your STD history gets leaked. That would kind of suck. Like if you
Right?
had someone
You're trying to
check your past.
donate blood. Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing
All
a good
of sudden
thing,
your STDs are out.
Yeah, according here, you had shingles at one point in time. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She
So
said it was safe.
that's my major holdup on wanting to use biometrics for anything, like security wise, password wise, because you can't change it, right? So I don't
You can
want
get
that
plastic
shit getting
surgery
in.
and change your face, right? If you use like Face ID, get a rhinoplasty and new jawline.
Yeah, a rubber faced monster like all the ones in Scottsdale. Yeah. Hey, I'll just say this: if I'm ever in Vegas, like let's say we're there, Black Hat, DEF CON, and for some reason I get shot and I need like a blood transfusion on a Monday, I don't want blood donations sent in Vegas from some dude on a strip from a weekend of like bender, right? I don't want that. I don't want like you know what I mean? Like imagine Chris like walking in. I heard they suck the poison right out of you, give you new stuff, like, and they give you $25 to donate. Like I don't want Chris's blood after a weekend of partying. I think I'll avoid that. Maybe just let me die. I don't want all the hepatitis. Hepatitis.
I don't know if I've ever gone to Vegas and thought, man, I should donate blood while I'm out here.
But no, think about it. Like, what if you were there? Like, you're gambling, stuff like that. And I guess if you're donating, you don't get money for it. But
yeah, you're not getting money for it. And they're not putting anything new in. So I guess you'd be a cheaper date because you'd get drunk faster. But
That's true. Less blood.
that's about it.
What about plasma? Don't they suck the blood out of you and then steal your soul and then put it back in?
Yes. So
Maybe.
funny enough, I am the universal donor for plasma, and I get the call like 3 times a week from the local blood bank because they
Jesus.
always want me to come in. And that's it. Like blood donation, like whole blood, I think it takes 30-ish minutes or so, but plasma takes like 2.5, 3 hours. It's a process because, like you said, they suck the blood out, they spit in a centrifuge, they separate it into its parts, and then they take the plasma and put everything back in.
Yeah. I've done the whole blood donations many times, and then I started having complications, so I stopped. But
Yeah.
I just did it for
Yeah.
the free cookie and orange juice. I was always hungry.
that's fair.
I think Brian still thinks this is like field triage medicine where there's 2 people hooked up to a machine and the person A blood literally goes into person B.
Just left to right, yeah.
They don't do that anymore? It's like an HA cable between 2 network devices.
They
you
usually,
go, yeah.
they take it, they test it, they store it, and they usually have a stockpile, so they just draw it from their stockpile.
I said, imagine a vampire tap on that one.
Da-dunch.
I remember like way back in the day, like they were doing like, I think it was United Blood. What is it? United Blood. I think there's they had like a caravan of mobile clinics.
Like the
They pulled
bloodmobiles.
up- Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we should go down there. I was working in a call center. Like, we should go down there, donate blood. I'm like, why? Like, why do you always want to do that? They're like, free STD test. I'm like, isn't there like a number one? That's weird. Like, you're gonna you take my blood, but you can tell me if I'm infected, right? Like, free. Like, all right, well, I guess that's one way of doing it. Rolling the bones right there. Like, if you think you're tainted, then like, why would you even want to give it out anyways? You know.
There's a question like when you check in on the questionnaire. One of the questions, because they ask all kinds of things, like, have you ever lived outside the U.S.? Have you ever had malaria? Like, they ask all these questions. There is one specific question that asks, are you donating blood today just to get an HIV test? And you have to check honestly. I've never checked yes because I was never at risk for that. But I imagine if you check yes, they're like, we'll just give you the free test. You don't have to donate blood to find that out.
Right. Yeah, we're not going to keep your sample. But
yeah.
I remember 20 years ago, my dad decided he was going to donate blood for the first time, and we're sitting down, donating together, going through the questionnaires. And one of the questions the lady had asked him was, have you ever had sex with a man for money? And his response was, well, how much money are we talking? It's a negotiating tactic, right? If it's worth it, maybe. Yeah, she didn't like that one much, but yeah.
I imagine. They don't like joking around when it comes to those types of questions.
They did not. Yeah.
No. Little fun. You know what's weird is like, I don't know, 17 years ago, 15 years ago, I went in for something, and I tested positive for tuberculosis, the same thing that killed Doc Holliday.
TB.
Yeah.
Everything is TB.
And I was like, it is? So I'm not special? Because they were acting like, they're like, when was the last time you were in the country? Who did you talk to? Like, why do you have this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've never been out of the country. I was at a border town once, but got a hot dog.
Was it a false positive?
No, definitely. I still have it technically. Because like you have to take medication every day for like 6 months, and then I would start it, and I would always forget. And they're like, "Just tape it to your toothbrush. You brush your teeth." I'm like, "I do." And then they're like, "Well, we'll give you like a 1 month supply." I'm like, "You guys are so far away. I have to drive all the way over here to get it." It was just such an inconvenience. But they're like, "You have until you're 50." And let me tell you guys, I'm kicking 50 doors down. Like, we're getting close to like this might actually be an issue. I need to like get my ducks in a row so I don't die. But can you imagine this being the podcast, is coughing one day, like, oh, and then next thing you know, like, yeah, Brian's dead. Tuberculosis got him. We talked about this on episode 213. Yeah.
We called it. You heard it here first.
There's a book released this year from John Green called "Everything is Tuberculosis," and it's about like how tuberculosis has like shaped our world because of the people getting tuberculosis and traveling and doing things, and like the cowboy hat exists because of tuberculosis. It's a pretty solid read, but it might also inform you of, hey, maybe I should take the pill.
That's on Brian's summer reading list.
Yeah, I will.
You know, Amazon has a pharmacy now. They'll ship it straight to your door.
That doesn't tape it to his toothbrush.
No,
but I don't even know if you can do that. I don't think they would like write your prescription. Like, you have to go to like the Department of Health and blah 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 to actually get it.
Yeah, well, you get the prescription. You do that once, and then Amazon mails the pills to your door.
No, I walk in and they hand it to me.
Oh,
but I don't go to the pharmacy. I don't think you can get that. I don't think that's over the not it's over. I don't know if it's prescription based. I could be wrong. What are you talking about?
Yes, I'm asking Grok after this.
Okay,
how can Brian get his?
How many
TB
days
pills?
does Brian have left? Just imagine I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't need to worry about it until I'm 50. We're over 50. And then I'm like, okay, getting old now. I'm going to start worrying about this.
Got to keep the can down the road. Yeah. Well, back to the story here. It's just interesting how these cyber attacks can have real world effects, and especially hitting healthcare sectors, hitting hospitals, and the like. Traditionally, off limits for ransomware groups, but this QLIN group sounds kind of shady, so I don't think they don't really care. They released the medical history of 900,000 people.
I bet you will find Victor in there. And all his stuff.
Well, I don't think he goes to the UK at NHS. Maybe the
he was
Canada
in the military.
NHS.
Yeah. Yeah, I was under the impression that, most ransomware orgs were kind of doing hands-off on medical. I know they did for a while, but we've heard an uptick of those attacks in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a little rough. So I'm near Cleveland, Ohio, right? And I think just recently, one of the Cleveland medical departments had yet another ransomware attack. It's like, come on. There should be some kind of boundaries to cybercrime.
Yeah, or they should go get Hashdi's book called The Zero Trust Hospital, and they won't get hit, maybe.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they still would. We know how hospitals operate. They can't protect themselves enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you really want to get down to brass tacks and stop this stuff from happening, it should be a law, at least in the U.S., that if you get hacked, then you have to put your entire InfoSec policy and all the vendors that you use along with how you were configured. Like, let's poke holes in it together, folks, instead of like, oh, it was a password mishap. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want to know everything. That would make everything better.
Crowdsource your new cyber policy.
I'm just telling you, man. Like if you found out that you're like, oh, I'm all in on this vendor that builds routers, right? And you find out that their story sucks, and that's the reason why they actually got breached. It was more than just a password mishap. I think it would make people think twice about it.
Well, you remember Change Health when they got hit. Their initial press release said this was a highly sophisticated foreign actor that attacked us. And what it ended up being? It ended up being a Citrix box with single-factor authentication. Like, yeah, a 12-year-old with a script could have done that.
Right.
That's a lot of PR spin on that for sure.
Not a lot of PR. All you have to do is just say highly sophisticated actor. It's easy to
foreign
say
actor.
Yeah.
Like when we give out,
who's going to challenge it?
Yeah. Foreign. That makes it scarier, elusive, sexy.
One of them
International man of
foreigners. We
mystery.
can't trust them, I guess.
Yeah.
For third topic, Google Cloud suffered a massive 3-hour outage last week that took down core Google services like Gmail, Calendar, Chat, Google Search, Google Docs, Drive, Google Meet. Google Meet was down too, so you couldn't have your Google Meets last week. And also caused widespread issues for third-party platforms that rely on Google, such as Spotify, Discord, Snapchat, NPM, Palo Alto Networks, Firebase, and Cloudflare, probably the most notable one. According to initial RCA from Google, the outage was caused by an API service quota. Once they realized the issue, they suspended the API quotas, and services returned to normal within 2 hours. Now, most terms of service and end-user subscription agreements indemnify cloud providers from damages caused by outages, and just goes to show how important a DR or BCP plan is to have and also use a multi-cloud strategy.
It seemed interesting, though, of like they've got an API quota issue of something new code that they released, but they didn't have thorough checking. It didn't meet their normal requirements, and their red button bailout method cost them extra hours because it didn't quite work. So I'm wondering, not to shift topics too far, but like, is this part of an AI coding thing? Of they just rolled with it.
Yeah, they said something like there was, I don't remember again, this is like a PR spin. They said the error boundaries, they couldn't check for it. It put it in an unrecoverable state. So a lot of tech terms here, a lot of PR terms here, but in the end, you might be right, Tyson. This is an AI coding error. Yeah.
Like, and it could have been a human who made this, right? They just didn't error check to say, like, if we don't get an acceptable field, or, like we get these empty fields coming in, which I think is what I was reading. So if we get an empty field in, it isn't what we expect, let's error out gracefully instead of crash the program. Yeah. And I think that's the thing of, if you're someone like Google who has this massive architecture and all of these orchestrations of systems working together, I'm not certain AI is at the point where it's going to be able to know that it needs to do these various things as part of implementing new features. So it didn't follow their policy. It didn't, do things the proper way. And I think that's on them for having not caught it.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense because if you use Gemini, that thing is hot dog.
I was about to say, like, maybe their coders they're forced to use the same version of Gemini that we all have to use, where it can't even count the number of R's in the word strawberry. We're relying on this for to run their entire global infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah. It's what's kind of funny about this is the first time I'm reading about the API quota. I remember when we were exposing APIs and this focus went into making sure someone can DDoS us from an API perspective. I was like, what a dumb thing to worry about. Apparently not so much. Turns out it's kind of a good idea to worry about this stuff. I would say I didn't really expect the data plane to crap the bed as well. I could see the control plane being an issue, right? But the data plane, it really impacted a lot of people. That really big kick between the pants for sure.
Right. I think a lot of the data plane is operating via APIs now. So,
True.
Yeah. So if that's being quoted or throttled or crashed, you're not getting anything through.
So here it is. On the OWASP top 10, it's called unrestricted resource consumption, which is a fancy way of saying API rate limit abuse. So it is a top 10 concern. That is a way you can take down a service.
Yeah. What's really funny is I won't call it out, but I was I met with somebody at RSA and current, person, we'll leave it at that, of interest. And he was really talking a lot of crap. He's like, you don't understand, your cloud sucks. You should be 100% on GCP. It's fundamentally superior than anything that's ever been created, all the way down to the CPU cycles per customer. He's a big old freaking nerd. I was like, wow, I have 10 minutes to talk to you, right? I don't know what we're trying to accomplish right now. He's just this is career enclave, and then they make sure the things are plugged in with a padlock. I was like, oh, this guy is drink one too many sips of the Kool-Aid over there. I was like, hey, if that's how you feel about it, that's just, cool. I'll look into it. Maybe I'll change our architecture and we'll just move everything on Zscaler to GCP. No, I'm not actually going to do that. That'd be insane.
Yeah. Let's move our cloud to their cloud. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have multi-cloud strategy too. Our backup cloud is not on our Zscaler cloud, and that's the point. Because if our cloud goes down, you don't want the backup to be on our cloud. You want it to be on someone else's cloud.
Completely separate.
And we do there are some pieces that are in different other hyperscaler clouds, right? And that's on purpose because we don't want to be a single point of failure, even as ourselves, right? So,
and I've talked to customers, large customers, and they're all in on AWS. They're all in on GCP or Azure, and inevitably at some point they say, yeah, we're all in on them, but except we also have services on this cloud just in case. And that's a valid strategy. You want to diversify your risk.
I think that was Cloudflare's issue. Or Cloudflare's approach is they want to build everything on their environment, but they also have things on other people's, and they just got caught pants down with the Google issue.
Was there storage?
Even on the show, we complimented Cloudflare. They have amazing RCAs, and then Brian took one look at this and this is hot garbage. This RCA is crap.
They normally write really outstanding things. From their blogs. I mean, they are just a blog company, but their blogs are always good. Technical stuff is good. RCs are good. And this one is did Google Gemini write this? Because it feels like Google Gemini wrote this.
That was basically I read through the whole RCA, and they said, sorry. It was they said, we're responsible. We take responsibility. It's our job to keep the cloud up or the service up, but we relied a little too much on a third party. And that was it. That was the RCA.
Our bad. Hey guys, our bad. I wonder how many people are going to so let's, I don't think anyone's leaving Spotify or Discord. Snapchat, those kids are idiots anyways. I do wonder about, I don't even know what Firebase Studio is, but I wonder how many people that maybe utilize Cloudflare or even Palo Alto are looking at that and saying, man, that actually hurt a lot. And maybe we should look at coming with a kind of a multi-vendor approach to some of these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would hope there are organizations at least looking for some
Akamai's like,
backup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Cloudflare already said as their what we'll do better is like we're moving off third parties. We're writing our own stuff in our own cloud because we have the most reliable cloud. We shouldn't be trusting other people. That's their position.
Wow, that's a big thing to say.
They said it.
Yes. Yeah, a little
Right.
bit of hubris there, but we'll see. They are, I think they are the world's largest CDN, if not one of the largest CDNs. So they know how to run things at scale. But for this particular,
They know how
Piece of
to
it.
host content, dude. That's way different than doing
Yeah.
security. Come on now.
that's like site reliability, SRE stuff. They're pretty decent at that too. I don't think no one's gonna leave Spotify, Discord, or Snapchat. It's whether or not Spotify, Discord, and Snapchat choose to move off of Google Cloud onto some other platform like AWS. Like we've seen Azure outages for sure. We've seen AWS outages. Everybody goes down at some point, but it's that DR BCP strategy. Like, do we have a hot standby in another cloud that we just flip the switch and it moves from GCP to AWS?
Yeah. I would bet a lot of those services, it's just not going to be cost effective for them to bother with a hot standby, even a warm standby. Who cares, right? We'll just take the few hour hit and hope that our providers get us back up.
Yeah.
You know how many customers are like, there's some dude kind of pudgy around the midsection area. His nose hair grows into his mustache hair. He's been there for like 30 years, and he just walked into the office with his mug, right? He's like, told you we should just keep everything in our data center. And he's like, we just bring it all back. We don't need the cloud. Yeah, I bet you. I guarantee that conversation had been said many, many times throughout so many different organizations.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. Then it's a question of what's your on-prem uptime versus what's the cloud uptime, because neither is going to be 100%. Like, is it 5 nines, 6 nines, 3 nines?
I'm just happy to have a 9.
9% uptime. For our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about Amazon Prime Day. Prime Day is July 8th this year, and it will run for 4 days instead of the traditional 2 days. And as is traditional, we'll talk about TWU, or things we won't use, and the random stuff we buy on Prime Day. What are you looking for this year?
Oh, boy.
Bidet. That's about it.
Bidet.
Yeah.
You actually going to get one, Brian?
Yeah, I'm tired of wiping, man. It is just spray that thing off and dab it dry. I'm thinking that's got to be. I used one recently, and it wasn't hooked up to warm water. And I would say in Arizona, when it's 118 out, surprisingly refreshing, that cold burst of water.
The ice water blast.
Yeah, I'm into it. What can I say? Yeah, that's probably the one thing I'll buy.
I was going to say, like, are you going to go all out? You're going to get, like, the heated seat, the one with the built-in scale, all that stuff?
I didn't even know that was a thing. No, I'm just looking for something a massaging feature. No, I just wanted to I don't know, like, is there an air dryer back there? I don't think I want it blowing that air up into my face, though.
Yeah, I don't think you want that.
No.
It's like the spray and pray model, it does have, like, heat-seeking missile technology.
Yeah. I've had a real cheap one for probably 10 years now. So non-heated, it's just the cold water out of the stream, and pretty solid. It'll wake you up on those, winter Ohio mornings, but
yeah.
Hello.
It's pretty good.
I would have to say that the water pressure in this house, phenomenal. Like, it almost sent me to the moon. Yeah.
There you go.
What about
What do you
buying,
think,
Christopher?
Oh. I need new Echoes in the house. I have the ones with the screens, the Echo Show, and I want to say I've had them for maybe at least 3 years, because I definitely had it at the old house, so probably at least 3 years. And at first it was cool because it would show, it's like a digital picture frame. It would show me the Zscaler stock price. It would show me, I would say, relevant headlines that I actually cared about. But I would say over time, going back to our topic of in-shitification, this thing has gotten worse and worse and worse. Like, now it shows like promoted themes for certain things that they're paid to promote, and it's like promoted items and suggestions. And I've even gone into the privacy settings or the Alexa settings, and I said turn off ads, turn off this, turn off that. So like I want you to show me my family photos, my stock price, and maybe a few relevant headlines. That's it. Still shows me like suggested items. It's just become a gigantic ad now, a screen to show ads. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the little hockey puck, like no screens, and these things have gotten less responsive over time too, which is why I'm going to replace them anyway. But I'm going to replace them with the ones with no screens now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tyson's not very enthused about that. To all the listeners that thought I was going to say air fryer, you thought I was. You thought. Yeah. But I went down the road of bidet.
Well, I think Tyson's more like, why do you have all these NSA listening devices in your house?
I am. I really am. Yeah. No, I'm all but completely disconnected from Amazon. And this should be probably by the end of the summer. I won't have anything else, Amazon connected or subscribed. My television last week showed my wife an advertisement when she turned it on. And she immediately turned the TV off and walked away. And so we're going to be swapping that out. It's one of those like inbuilt Fire TVs that I bought at Costco, and it's okay. But yeah, we're definitely going to disconnect the TV from the internet and use, a different media connection. Because I don't play with that stuff. I don't want it listening to me. So...
I'm more with that. Yeah, we have LG TVs here. Just they make the best OLEDs, so we buy the LG. Yeah. But the LG software is crap, so I never use any of that. And then there's lots of controversy about them like sending data and showing ads over live videos. And I just have an Apple TV plugged in the LG, so I think I'm with you. Like I could technically disconnect the LG TV from the internet and only use the Apple TV, which does not show me any ads. And that might be the strategy. Well, you're not an Apple guy, so your Google TV or whatever the equivalent is, Android TV.
Ew. Get them off their pod.
I'm not a Google. I don't Google either when I can. But I'll probably stick to a Fire Stick, right? Because you don't have to have any actual subscriptions for it. It's just a Fire Stick.
Yeah, it's a streaming.
So I'll use that device to do the media serving streaming device. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I somehow managed to not participate in last year's Prime Day, and I'm hoping to do the same this year. As to whether my wife will follow that, I don't know. I'm certain we'll end up with a bunch of T-Woo.
I'm looking at a Kindle for my older kid, too. She's really into reading now. She's carrying these gigantic, thick Harry Potter books around. I'm like, you can carry a Kindle. You're responsible enough now. You can have a Kindle and put the Harry Potter book in your Kindle.
No, let her carry the book, dude. Don't be a jerk. Let her enjoy it. Here's some more technology to look at, loser. No, don't do that.
Yeah. I've been doing audiobooks because I don't want to sit down and read.
Audiobooks are great. I did that one. Cool. Like when we were remodeling the house, and I'd just be like digging a trench and they just pop in the audiobook. I listen to so many books that way because I can't sit there and read, but I can listen to it while I'm doing work around the house.
Yeah, I try to read books. I fall asleep in minutes. First page, I start yawning, and then it's out. I just can't do it.
You found the cure for insomnia.
Yep.
Just reading books.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because Prime Day in general, you kind of have to find a diamond in the rough. So like, yeah, Brian, if you're looking for an air fryer, like if you're looking for a specific model, it might be on sale, might not be on sale. But if you want an air fryer with good reviews, you'll probably find one for like $50 off or something. But usually it's the Amazon specific devices. So the Kindle, the Alexas, if you're into the Ring ecosystem, now's the time to get in on that. Those are usually the ones that have the heavy discounts, or a Fire TV if you want ads to show up on your TV all the time.
What was kind of cool was we had the hockey pucks.
Yeah.
Am I lagging bad? Is it me today? Jesus.
It might be.
Anyways, I'll just say it real quick and then you go back. The hockey pucks, we had them, like all the kids had one. We had them throughout the house, and then I found out you can daisy chain them. And so we threw a Christmas party. just had one in each room, like really low level, playing Christmas music. It's kind of cool. Yeah. And so you say, Alexa, play Christmas music. And it's like, hey, here's some holiday favorites. I'm like, I said play Christmas music, not holiday. And I'm just arguing with a damn faceless robot.
Yeah, being more inclusive, Brian.
It is a very true story.
Yeah, you don't want that Kwanzaa music or that Hanukkah music playing throughout the house.
I'll take it all. Just, yeah. Is there any Hanukkah music or Kwanzaa?
There's the Adam Sandler one.
Oh yeah, that's a banger right there.
Yeah,
that's the only one you need, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna say for the Fire TV, if you can buy it, because I think the Fire TVs are subsidized because they're Amazon owned, and I think they show Amazon ads, so they're cheaper than normal. They sell it at a loss. I wonder if you create like a firewall rule and say block all traffic to Amazon AWS, and you just get a dumb TV for cheap.
Yeah. You can. My TV at the other house is running through a pie hole.
Yeah.
And so I don't get hardly any of the ads, and whenever I look at it, I can see that it is blocking, thousands of analytics requests an hour.
Yeah.
So,
pie hole's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we run that here on a VM, and it works really well. Can't block YouTube ads. I'm still trying to find a good solution for blocking YouTube ads on non-computers, because AdBlock will block it on a desktop but not on a tablet or a TV. Haven't found a good solution yet.
I think Victor would tell you, just pay for it, yeah.
I know. I forgot. There's some meme that says, ad companies pay Google to show ads, and then we pay Google to not show ads. And Google's just like literally printing money right now.
Yeah, I Googled I asked ChatGPT, what should I buy? And it was like, you should get floppy disk coaster video game memorabilia. Like, it's just a floppy disk, but it's like a coaster. And it just reminds me of the first time I got on the internet. I was at the school, and I think the first thing I had searched was Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. So then I was like, oh yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to copy this. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to copy this image to a floppy disk and then put it on my computer as my wallpaper. The picture was too big to copy onto floppy disk.
1.44 meg.
I got cock-blocked by 1.44 meg. Yep.
Yeah, that was before JPEG compression. That was probably a bitmap then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So dumb. So dumb.
Well, we continue to get great comments about our Dad Joke of the Week.
Dad Joke of the Week.
This week, our guest Tyson is up.
Oh, boy. So I'm going to go with the one that I told my kid yesterday.
All right.
Yeah. What happens when you cross a telescope and a microscope?
What's that?
The kaleidoscope.
Oh. The colonoscope. All right.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
All right, to wrap things up, Ross Ulbricht is free and just got a $31 million donation. Blood donations are desperately needed after a cyber attack. Google Cloud took down a good chunk of the internet, and Prime Day is July 8th. That's all we have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. For our co-host Brian Deitch and our guest Tyson Kindler, I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week, and as always, have a nice day.
Happy holidays.
Bye, Felicia. Love you, Glenn.
Have a nice day.